Our final presenter today is Courtney Boucher from the School of Kinesiology.
Only 4 people are paid more annually than President Joan Gable here at the University of Minnesota, all 4 of which work in the athletics department. One of whom was just on your screen. That's Mark Coyle, but more on him in a minute. See, this is common at large institutions where college athletics are king, because holding a position within a major NCAA Division I athletics department comes with access to power, influence, and a lot of money. But what happens when one of these well-paid coaches leaves their job voluntarily, or sometimes, as you all know, involuntarily? Who's hired to replace them? And furthermore, who gets to do the hiring? In college athletics, that person is the athletic director, which is the most powerful, visible, and lucrative administrative position you can hold. In my research, I tracked 120 of these athletic directors and then assigned them grades based on their hiring practices for their women's sports teams. Now, if I used a traditional grading scale, 94 of those 120 athletic directors I tracked would receive a failing grade, a literal F. So I had to modify it a little bit. All an athletic director would have to do to receive an A grade is hire women coaches for their women's teams just 70% of the time, which is pretty generous given the fact that we hire men to coach our men's teams essentially 100% of the time. So, for example, the University of Minnesota's very own Mark Coyle, who you saw at the beginning of this presentation. In the last 6 years, he's had the opportunity to make 5 head coach hires for his women's teams, and ultimately, he's hired 4 women, earning himself an A. But even by my modified grading scale, Mark Coyle's among the few, as only 18 of the 120 athletic directors in my sample surpassed that 70% threshold and earned themselves an A. My research also found that when females hold athletic director positions, they hire female head coaches a majority of the time. The problem is, the reverse is also true. Male athletic directors hire male head coaches a majority of the time. And in 2019, at the 130 most prominent college athletic departments, only 9 had female athletic directors. Men are getting to do all the hiring, and they're choosing to hire other men. And that's a problem because the data tells us that our female student athletes both want and need strong same-sex role models. And yeah, it's cliche, but it's also true. If you can't see her, you can't be her. And that's especially salient here. My goal is to use this data to hold these very well-paid athletic directors accountable for their hiring practices of their women's sports teams. And just like on my transcript, I want to see a whole lot more A's than I see F's. And the only way that's possible is if athletic directors hire more women when given the opportunity. Thank you.